Hello and welcome everyone to Galactic Gumbo episode 4. Today we are going to be joined by some special guests. We'll kind of get into that for here in a minute, but I wanted to make sure that our normal guys that show up here every week, Dakota, can introduce himself. Where can people find you, man?
You can find me everywhere at PrimalSabbath.
All right, and Dalton.
You can find me everywhere at Daltonian Steve. Yes.
Mike.
Hey, you can find me exclusively on Twitter at PodConFan1978.
And Rick, new member of Shatrdglassjazz as well.
And you can find me on Twitter as Shatrdglassjazz.
All right, and we're actually joined by some new faces that you haven't seen here on Galactic Gumbo or Cybercast before, but they actually have their own show. I'll let them tell you all about it. If you want to kind of give, tell people about where they can find you and what all you have to offer. You know, how many episodes you're into and what your show's about, because I really enjoy it. So, Dan, I'll let you kind of kick off that first.
Sure, we got called Near Mint Condition. We've been airing episodes since for about 2.5 months now. We just put the episode. We do regular episodes on Tuesdays now, and it's Omar and me and two more of our friends, basically sitting around and talking about stuff we like. So it's generally all stuff, toys, movies, comics. We try to vary it up, a lot of different topics, trying to space out our episodes. And it's really just kind of a labor of love at this point. So just getting started.
All right, and do you want to tell people where they can find you and stuff like that, or do y'all have separate Twitters and Facebooks and YouTubes?
Yeah. For Near Mint Condition, the channel is Near Mint Condition. We got a website. It's nearmintcon.com, but right now that just forwards directly to the YouTube channel. We're on Facebook at Near Mint Con. We're on Twitter at Near Mint Con, and I am on Instagram at Despotes. Omar?
You can find me at the Red Light District tonight because I am in Vegas. I don't. Yeah, like Dan, I'm in Near Mint Condition, our YouTube channel. Pretty much it's a 30-something-year-old people that kind of got together. We used to do all kinds of things. One of us was a figure reviewer. Another one came from the video games end, and Dan used to have the Dragon Ball Toys website. So we decided to get together and start talking about things because it's been a long time because we used to have a podcast back in the day.
All right,
cool.
We will go ahead. Let's get into some hauls stuff. I'm sure that all you guys got something. Rick, hopefully you finally sent Dakota his Fort Max, and that's not his there in the background. But Dakota, did you get anything cool this week?
As a matter of fact, I did, man. I did. I met Mike couple of hours away. Got the Fort Max, so I've been enjoying that. I got the Titans Returns Rewind, some comics, and I think that was it. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Dalton, what did you get, man? You got a lot of stuff, I'm sure.
Nothing this week. Just
You see, you're just not trying hard enough, man.
I'm
Priority.
ashamed.
Mike, what'd you get, man?
What did I not get? I got 2 Fort Maxes. I got the retail. I got the San Diego. I got the San Diego Transformer stuff. I got my last subscription for the subscription service for G.I. Joe. Titan Masters, Titan Return figures. I got a lot of crap. So yeah, nice little hauls this week.
Rick, what'd you get, man?
Got the DX9, the Warren Pocket Cup in RC, and I got the SDCC Titans 3-pack. I got the Rogue One Gen Urso Black Series, and got some pre-orders in on Hot Toys, Harley, Deadshot, and Marty McFly from Back to the Future 2.
Oh, sweet. What about you, Dan? What'd you get, man?
All I got this week was I finally found some of the Titan Master Headmaster guys. I guess Wave 2. So I picked up 3 of those. Those are the first of those I've seen. I haven't seen Wave 1 anywhere. That's about it. I have a ton of stuff on pre-order, but nothing has come yet.
All right, Omar, did you get anything? Obviously not, mailing it to your hotel or anything like that, but.
No, I've gotten some things. I've been looking for the Titans Return. I was in Seattle a couple weeks ago, and then in Kentucky. I can't find them. And I actually went to Toys R Us here in Vegas trying to find them, and there's nothing on the shelves. So the only thing I did get this week was the collector's edition Tales of Systeria. It's one of the Tales of games on the PS4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of collector's editions. I never play the game because I don't have any time because I have kids, but it's there.
All right, for me, I got the Titans Returns, I got the Scourge, and Blur, and let's see, I've got the San Diego Comic-Con Unmasked Kylo Ren, I got the 2 NECA, the 4-pack Ninja Turtles, and also the 4-pack with the Foot Soldiers and the Shredder.
Is that from the video game?
Yeah, it's the
the arcade game, right?
Yeah, all these guys. So those 2 4-packs, and that's all that's come in. Like I purchased the Dakota Fort Max, and then the Thunder Kitties should be coming in for me and Rick.
Yeah.
So
Looking
those are
forward
in
to
the mail. Yeah. So. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into our first topic. So San Diego Comic-Con was last week. We saw a lot of stuff there, but what are kind of your top 5 things that were revealed, at San Diego Comic-Con? It doesn't have to be something that you're buying, but just kind of the coolest things that you saw. And it's just kind of open discussion, so no one has to call on you, so anyone can start.
I'm excited about Wonder Woman. Saw the trailer. And that looks like a really good movie.
I'm excited about that one. That one's that's the best DC trailer that we've seen so far for any of the live action stuff, I think. The Justice League looks like it's just kind of pieced together a little bit. It's not really a real trailer. But that Wonder Woman, man, I was excited for it. I was like, this is going to be a really good movie.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought the premise was very similar to the Captain America premise, but it looks really good.
I think it should have came out before BVS. Honestly,
I'm sure so does DC. I'm sure they're sitting around.
Yeah.
Damn it. But.
Well, then they wouldn't have known it funny.
See, I love DC, and I always like. DC's better than Marvel. I'm on that Team DC, so people always think that I'm biased, but I'm excited about Wonder Woman. The whole should it bit come before BVS? I think then you would have to put Wonder Woman in more parts in BVS, and I think that movie
she was already in like half the movie, so.
Yeah, it's just little scenes with her walking though.
Did you guys watch the director's cut?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It was a little bit better, but it was still BVS.
What else you got, Omar?
About things that I'm excited about?
Yeah.
The Luke Cage trailer, I thought that was pretty cool. Iron Fist looks fun. I mean, I'm a comic book kind of guy, so those kind of things get me hyped up. I'm a little upset I didn't get to see the Guardians of the Galaxy little teaser trailer, but apparently everybody talked about it. Said it looked like a really good thing, so I guess I really enjoyed the first one. The first one blew me away. See, there's one more thing I was excited about. Oh, Jean-Luc, what is that? The guy that did The Fifth Element, his new movie. What is it called? Variable.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The girl that's going to be the Enchantress, isn't she going to be from Suicide Squad? She's going to be in that as well.
Valerian, that's it.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
called Valerian. So everybody's calling it the spiritual successor to The Fifth Element. So I'm good with that.
What about the rest of you guys? What's your top 5 or somewhere on that?
I don't know that I had 5. I was thrilled to see the Jim Lee Cyclops figure coming out from the Marvel Legends line. Just in terms of of something easy to buy that I've been looking forward to for a long time. The only other figure we had of that era was that, if I'm right, that X-Men Classics figure that looked like he weighed about 80 pounds. Um, so I'm glad to see that. Glad to see um, Kurt Russell with Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, did you see
yeah.
who he's playing?
I did see who he's playing. It's kind of a shame that he will have to be a primarily CGI character, but
A planet, right? Maybe he'll
Yeah.
be like Unicron. He can just transform into Snake.
So I kind of heard something about a planet, but then I also heard something about what's Star Lord's dad. So it's the planet rumor.
Ego, right? The
yeah,
living planet.
yeah. The rumor is that he's both, and I think they're putting that out almost tongue in cheek. So maybe maybe they're just playing the rumor, but either way, I like to see Kurt Russell attached to any project. So
What else you
Rocky's in
got?
it too.
Anybody?
Man, honestly, the Cyclops was cool. I'm loving the Marvel Legends Punisher, based off of John Bernthal that's coming out, or at least that we got to see. Other than that, I'm trying to think. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot I was impressed with SDCC this year. As far as trailers go, yeah, the Luke Cage. Although I would have appreciated a Sweet Christmas thrown in there somewhere. Um,
You'll get that eventually.
oh yeah, I think he dropped it like once or twice in Jessica Jones. And I'm like, come on.
He did.
I mean, other than that, like as far as Transformers goes, I can't even remember what all we actually saw there. That was the Megatron. The Megatron was awesome. I'm very much looking forward to that. But that's pretty much it.
Which Megatron was that?
The one that's gonna turn into that they're gonna remold into Blitzwing, the tank jet, the Titan's Return.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's gray. It's gray Blitzwing. So.
He's scratching that more than meets the eye Megatron itch.
So when Dan and I went to BotCon this year, and they kind of teased a combiner jet and tank, right? Like you just see the silhouette of a jet and tank coming together, and we thought, we both looked at each other and we're like, oh man, Overlord. But then it got me thinking maybe it's the Megatron that they're releasing.
No, at the panel they put a huge emphasis on the words over and Lord.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we're not going to lord you
Because
over.
I know
this.
they focused on that a lot, and they were using some wordplay, and over and Lord were said pretty loudly. So
Awesome.
so we can count on not being in that in a year.
yeah.
I like the Black Series Hera. I thought was a cool surprise. Anytime they touch the Rebels, we've said before, like they seem to be like the best Black Series that they're putting out. So I liked Lando too. I thought that was cool that we're getting Lando, and they put a lot of detail into the cape. And I like when they make it Black Series like it should be. And every once in a while they cut corners, but I like seeing the ones where it feels like what they intended. And I like that Hot Toys is giving us Doc Brown to go with the Back to the Future stuff. So if you've invested in that, you feel like you at least have what you need. I do like the Rogue One, the pre-AT-AT or whatever they're calling it. I do like that they're doing that, and it's kind of remote control, or you got the app thing, and part of it comes off, and it makes this cool, like ground assault. I thought that was cool. As far as the trailers, I liked Wonder Woman like you guys. Yeah, and I was still kind of grooving on the. I think it was the Celebration where they revealed the Rebels season 3 with Thrawn. I still think that's probably the coolest thing I've seen through that SDCC stuff. I wanted a little bit more as far as like the stuff that I wanted more of. I wanted to see more of the Iron Fist, like just a little bit more to get me kind of jazzed. I don't know a whole lot about Iron Fist though, so I don't know if there was anything that I don't know what I wanted to see, but it wasn't quite. I didn't think it was quite as good as the other things that they showed.
He wasn't using his fist enough. You're right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The worst thing I saw was in our Cybercast earlier. We saw this Marvel Black Widow that was like a $35 cloth costume. That and that Captain America, complete trash.
Oh,
I gotta put a little list here. This one's not one that I'm going to be getting, but the Play Arts Batman, Batman and Two-Face. I think the level of detail on that thing is just amazing. Now it's a $200 price point for a 10, 11-inch figure, but it's just, whenever I saw that, I was like, I like this idea because they're doing that. They're going to be doing a Batman Joker, and I was kind of making a suggestion. I was like, well, why don't you do like a Batgirl and Harley as well, kind of mix up to where I think those things are really cool because it's something that's different. It's kind of like, well, she's like on the floor here, but like the Play Arts, the variant line that they do, well, this is kind of like another step in that direction.
What's the size on those? Because I know like the Arkham Asylums, like the Arkham figures are a little bit smaller than the Play Arts guy, the one with Superman and Supergirl.
The Play Arts, they are about 10, 11 inches. Now they used to do them, some of them a little bit smaller because they've had two Tomb Raider Lara Crofts. The first one from the first video game, she stands about, I'd say about maybe 7.5, 8 inches, to where the one from the newest video game, Rise of the Tomb Raider, she stands about 10 to 10.5 inches.
Yeah, I know some of their older Final Fantasy toys were like in the 8-inch scale.
Yeah.
I got the Halo 4 Master Chief, and he's that, around that 10, 11-inch scale. So
I've got a few of them, and I was just wondering because I'm a completist, and I'm really stupid about things when you're a completist. So I have the DC Play Arts ones with Superman, Wonder Woman, and all of them. But then the Arkham one had a Deadshot, right? So there's not Deadshot, I'm sorry, Deathstroke, Terminator. But he's a smaller scale, so I was a little upset that I'm like, oh, he's gonna look ridiculous. He'll look like a midget, like compared to the rest of these guys.
Another one that I wanted to bring up, not one that I'm getting, Hot Toys TIE Fighter. I kind of talked about it earlier. Just whenever I see that stuff, I think it's really awesome. Also with the just the cabin piece for Millennium Falcon, where it has all the lights and electronics and stuff like that. Just stuff like that, I think is really cool. And like we were talking about on the show, to where even whenever you look at the back piece of it, it's still got the door and a few electronics and stuff like that. So as far as displays. Display-wise, I think that's really cool. I like vehicles. Being from the 80s, I like bases. I like vehicles, all that stuff.
I think it's phenomenal. I'm sorry. I think it's phenomenal that they're making that. I can't imagine how they're doing it in a cost-effective way because, you figure that the production run on that and the number of people that are going to buy it has to be kind of pretty small. And the work that goes into that. I realize the cost is going to bear it out, but still, it's just amazing they're doing it in the first place.
I always like to quote Big, like, what's so fun about playing with a building? Like, because, you have, like, the play scales, like the Thundercat layer and things like that, or Castle Grayskull. So you were talking about, big, like, what's the aircraft, the G.I. Joe aircraft, right?
USS Flag. Yeah, it's 7.5 feet long.
Right. I can't imagine that gets a lot of play. Well, maybe it did.
Oh, it's crazy expensive now because like no one would buy it for their kids back then. I remember telling my parents, like, hey, USS Flag, and they're like, Terradrome? I'm like, okay, So
Yeah.
it's like you're not really losing here, but it was with play sets. I got the Grayskull and the Snake Mountain as a kid, but then it was like, but no, Cat Slayer or the Hive from Sectars,
Mm-hmm.
As far as stuff with like Hot Toys goes, man, I would have to think they have to own the factory that they produce their stuff in, because most factories, like Hasbro, they lease out to certain factories, and
Sure.
most of those factories, they're like, okay, look, minimum run on anything is 500 pieces or 1,000 pieces or so on and so forth. And we see that a lot with third party and even with exclusives and things like that. So I would have to think that Hot Toys they've got to own their own factory in order to be able to put out a piece like the TIE Fighter, which if they're lucky, 100 people are going to spend that kind of money on, or even the Millennium Falcon, $25,000 piece. How many of those are you going to pump out?
$25,000.
Yeah, that's a rumor that it's going to be something about because it's 1/6 scale, and we've seen pictures of this thing. See if anyone can pull them up and we can screen share it. But they had it in the middle of a mall, and like you could see like people next to it, and they had diorama with all these stormtroopers and everything around it, to where even whenever you kind of scaled it to a real life person, like you could lay about 3 of them in a row, 3 or 4 of them in a row down on it, and they wouldn't touch the edges. Like that's how large it is. Like you'd have to own it, you'd have to have like a 3-car garage.
Well,
Like,
that's the dream.
Well, like I think prices are getting crazier as an adult. Like I'm like, oh, I never thought as a kid I'd be buying a $50 toy. Then it went from 50 to 75, 75 to 100. Now I don't even want to talk about the ridiculous amount of money I spend. But $25,000? Damn, dude, that's a car. That's a nice
exactly what
car.
I said. That is exactly what I said.
Well, that was just kind of the rumor at that point. Like we haven't heard any more information on it, since then. So.
Although you'd be getting some tail if you pull up on a TIE Fighter instead of like a Volvo.
Oh, yeah. As far as cheaper figures, because we talked about some expensive ones, but one that I was really impressed with, and I don't really buy Marvel Legends. The X-Men wave is going to be my first one. Is that Marvel Legends Green Goblin? It makes me want to go get that. Now I got to track that Hobgoblin as well, because I was like, I'm just gonna do Spider-Man. I'll just do the Marvel Select, but those things look so incredible. Not to mention Marvel Legends. Go with that Cyclops you're talking about, Dan. That was another one that we just like looked at the pictures over and over and like, dude, it's all about this. Like him and Colossus, we were like, the rest we don't need the rest of the wave, just him and Colossus.
I like that Warlock, man. That's the first time I've seen a Warlock done right.
Yep.
The paint looks amazing. It looks like it's more money than what they're charging.
I'm cool that I love that they're doing Warlock. That's cool that they're doing Warlock. I would have been like, I know maybe they don't think it would sell, but if they had just done a New Mutants wave and gave us like an actual like Ileana magic without being an SDCC exclusive, give us Warlock as the Build-A-Figure, give us like Wolfsbane, Doug Ramsey, Cannonball, just give us like the New Mutants wave.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
And that's a good idea about having Warlock being the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So I was happy to see that. It looks really good.
Problem with that is that it's really tough to do regional accents in an action figure, and that's like 99% of the New Mutants.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all lost their accents by now. Writers don't give a crap about that stuff anymore.
Another one that I have, it was the same as Rick's. Got to have some Star Wars love in there. Black Series, the Hera. That's one thing that every time you look at the Black Series, the 6-inch line, it's whenever they produce one that's based on Rebels or that animation model, it seems like that would be the harder one to do because you're bringing from like CGI animation to where it's supposed to look like it's an actual human or an alien or whatever, and those have been the best looking figures in the entire line so far, in my opinion. Whether you're talking about Sabine, Kanan, Ahsoka, with Hera, they all look amazing. To where then you get the guys that are like the humans, to where hey, you have a lot more to go off of. Make it look like this human, and the eyes are all blotched and all different kinds of stuff. So
I would actually argue that point with you. With the CGI stuff, they have that more than likely. I would put 95% likely they have access to the actual CGI models, so that's why they're able to shell out such much better looking figures because you know they have the CGI models. They just go in, add the articulation, and they're done.
No, but that's not what they're doing. They're making them look like they're actual humans, not like they don't look like they're CGI models.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it seems like it would be harder, but they're doing the best jobs on it.
I think with that though, you have the benefit of you're not trying to make an action figure look like Harrison Ford. So you know, because there you've got a twofold task. One, you've got to make a realistic human face, but it's also got to be a realistic human face that looks like this particular person. Whereas with like Kanan, for example, you know, you can kind of genericize features and just make it look good, and you're not comparing it to any real person other than, you know, maybe Freddie Prinze Jr.
The other thing is when they're putting out a wave, you know, they know that people are going to buy Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill or whomever. When they get to the Rebels characters, some of the older folks that don't watch, I'm in my 40s, I watch it, but those people might not watch it. So when they do a Rebels character and they're trying to fill out that wave, they're definitely giving them a little more paint and a little more love. If you look at that Sabine, she just is head and tails better than the rest of those figures that are going to be coming out. You could look at the paint and you could tell like they really wanted to make that one special. So maybe those people will still pick that up. They're like, who's this Mandalorian girl? You know, they're giving them a lot of love.
Yeah, she's gonna get some love anyway, because as soon as you put on the you know, Mandalorian helmet and stuff like that, people are gonna be like, oh, female Boba Fett of some type, you know. So they can associate it with some way or another. We still need a Sabine TIE Fighter and Imperial one as well, so they need to get on those repaints. Last one I have.
Hasbro, get on those repaints.
No.
Dude, because I'm looking, you know, I've got these from the first order. I'm like, well, you do gray, then that's the Imperial one. You painted all different crazy colors. That's the Bean. I'll buy that one as well. And then you just take the wings off and you put on different wings, and you can have an Interceptor. You know, there's a lot of like just minor retools and stuff like that you could do, and I'll buy those too. I might even.
There's always a guy like you in the meeting, like, look, all we need to do is paint Batman blue, Ice Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And that's how it all gets started.
It is my fault.
No. I mean, all joking aside, like he did a lot of awesome stuff with repaints as far as Transformers goes, and I think Aaron Archer, he was the one that was responsible for all of that Arctic camo Batman, red digital camo Batman, you know, all that other stuff.
Night Glider, Blast Shield, Claw
oh yeah,
Primer. Dude, I've got them all up here. Deep Dive, Power Wing. I mean, it's just, I've got the entire Kidder collection on card up here.
It's more work to come up with the different names than it is to come up with the different color schemes.
Oh yeah, and finding something that sounds cool without, you know, like, oh, that's already being used by somebody else. You know, they got to change it. That's something that Hasbro runs into a problem with all the time. To where, like, you look at the new Titans Returns line, half the guys aren't even called the correct name anymore. Whether it's we don't want to call him what I forget what some of them are, but
how about Hellbat?
Skullmaster.
Hellbat. Yeah, I forget what they're actually calling some of them, but
it's like Fellbat, isn't it?
Fellbat.
The worst.
Yeah,
that
so
one might be unforgivable.
There's another guy, part of Lyle Kaiser, that
Iron Bison.
Yeah, instead of Kill Bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of kill, because we can't use that word. So
they're gonna call him M Bison instead.
That'd be good.
But see, one of the things I'm looking forward to.
Go ahead.
Oh, just one of the things I'm looking forward to that I've seen at SDCC was the Guardians of the Galaxy wave for Marvel Legends, with the Kid Nova and Darkhawk.
Oh yeah.
Titus.
I'm all about that. Yeah.
We got
Did Darkhawk already have a figure at some point?
Did he have a little one?
Probably
like,
two or
they
three.
do the smaller ones. I don't know if he had a smaller one or not. I know he hasn't had a 6-inch one.
Okay.
Why did Marvel miss out on that in the 90s? They could have had like the glowing action chest, the sparking chest.
Yeah, he was cool. Everybody, it's funny. Everybody I talked to that was buying comics in that era, we all, whenever we talk, Darkhawk comes up if we're talking about 6-inch figures. So it's good on them for finally making it happen.
As far as the different Batman variations, some people in the chat, Alphatron92, he says Levi Stratus Batman with a denim suit. Tuhala, he says breast cancer awareness Batman in hot pink. So yeah, several of them.
So many leftover possibilities.
One of the other things, and this is like my fifth one, being a Catwoman fan and also loving the DC icons. I'm just gonna say DC icons Catwoman. Still, obviously that every single figure is on pre-order, but that's one that I'm really excited about, Catwoman. So, Rick, you like the DC icons as well?
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite out of them would be?
I can't remember I can't take apart what I saw versus the pre-orders on BBTS because there's like 70, 80 pre-orders.
Yeah.
But like the one I'm looking forward to most is not what one we saw there. I'm still looking forward to the Burnside Batgirl and the Grail and the Darkseid 2-pack. Did they show Sinestro? Sinestro would be there. I'm always a Sinestro guy. I think Sinestro is like the reason Green Lantern is awesome. So anyway, Sinestro would be up there.
Ryan Reynolds, he needs to drop this Deadpool thing and get back to being Green Lantern.
Said no one ever.
I think you're in the minority there.
Whoever the guy that was Sinestro, I can't remember the actor that was Sinestro, though. I was down with the guy that was Sinestro.
Yeah, that was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, so if they just did Sinestro as the next movie without Green Lantern at all,
Yeah, at this point, Sinestro can join the Justice League instead of Ryan Reynolds. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Any of you guys have any other ones, or you want to kind of talk about the worst thing you saw?
I'm actually looking pretty forward to the bomb strike girl line for DC.
Oh, Bombshells, yeah.
Oh, the
Bombshells.
Other than Wonder Woman, they look great. Wonder Woman's got this look on her, which is a little strange.
That's I still like that they're doing that price point. That price point is a really cool thing. Lately, it seems like anything that's like Bombshell or classic pinup kind of thing, you're usually talking about like an $80 to $150 statue. So it's cool that they're doing that line.
The one thing I thought was the worst thing coming out of San Diego was the new CW Supergirl manly looking Supergirl action figure.
That's what I was gonna say as well.
That, and have y'all seen the preview clips for the new Superman on Supergirl? The guy they cast for that.
I've seen a picture of him.
I've seen
It's a joke. It is a pure joke.
So the guy looks really buff, like the pictures that I saw, and then I saw the one shot of him and Supergirl, and they look like they photoshopped it to make him look really smaller. And I don't know if there's a reason for that, but he's kind of a bigger guy. I don't know.
Someone that I know on Facebook, apparently there was a picture that got out with him sideways without his cape on, and he has this huge donkey donk in the back. And they were all like, they wanted to know if that's like the suit,
I wasn't
or if that's all generic.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm glad somebody else did. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, it is the CW.
CW.
That's fan service for the ladies.
Yeah.
That's who we're talking about. We're the women.
Dude, the CW, man, they're all about those relationships and stuff. Or Stephen Amell doing this, like...
The salmon ladder?
Yeah, it's like, okay, we get it. Then I remember, like, one of the girls was like, no, we don't get it. Like, we need to see some more of this. Less time in the Green Arrow outfit, more time just doing this.
Has anybody else heard that Tom Welling is going to be back to play Superman, but it's going to be like another one of the Earths, whatever Earth the Smallville stuff's on?
That was actually rumored. That was rumored back him to be in Flash. There were big rumors he was going to be on the Flash. It was either season 2 premiere or it was supposed to be the end of season 1 or season 2 ending. One of the two. I can't remember how it went. But there were
Oh, yeah.
big talks of him being in there as one of
Yeah.
the alternate Earths, which would be great because that's the one I like the best in my opinion.
I can forgive him a little bit for the Superman thing if that happens. If it doesn't happen, it's whatever.
I still have a hard time
Well,
with TV shows that DC produces and being standalone, apart from the movies, because it's kind of hard to see Barry Allen on, when we all saw the teaser trailer for Justice League, it was kind of hard to see the actor playing Barry Allen, not being the
Yeah.
TV show Barry Allen. So I'm like, come on, you already got the guy and you built him up.
Yeah.
He's got a fan, he's got fandom, so why not just throw him into the Justice League movie? But
Yeah.
same thing with Tom Welling. Should have been Superman.
I kind of like the guy they got for Superman. He's got the look, I think.
Henry Cavill,
Yeah.
in the movies,
Yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get to use much of his acting chops there because he had 13 lines in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, I mean, but that's writers and Snyder.
Oh, I know.
So a lot of this stuff, a lot of times, we blame stuff on the actors. Where I think that, sometimes you got to look at the writers and.
Oh no, it's still Ryan Reynolds' fault. It was a crappy movie. He made it crappier.
I haven't seen that. I don't think since it came out because I've only seen it the one time. But is he basically playing Deadpool as Green Lantern, or it seems like
He's
plays
playing Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern.
That's what he does.
Because
Yeah, no,
Ryan Reynolds
that's who he does.
is there's two parts that I think that were perfectly cast for him. First one being Van Wilder because he got to play Ryan Reynolds, and then
That's
the
true.
other one being Deadpool because
Yep.
he got to play Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, right? Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely.
You guys have anything else? You ready to move on?
I was trying to think of some of the trailers that I saw that I wasn't Guy Ritchie's new King Arthur movie didn't really interest me. Looked kind of boring.
See, I'm a Guy Ritchie fan, but I didn't
was
really,
too.
I really didn't like that, because I love Snatch, I love Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and stuff like that, but
Yeah, I say the same thing, and then maybe I'm not really a Guy Ritchie fan. Maybe I'm just a Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Barrel fan.
yeah.
Because I really haven't enjoyed his other movies that he's done since then.
How about this? What toy line that you collect has been the most brutal on you, as far as the way they distribute, I guess you could say. So, and what's kind of your ideal way you'd like them to distribute or release stuff? Is it maybe a wave a month, every 2 months, or some companies like we see with Star Wars right now, it's like there at the first quarter, it was like here's 3 or 4 waves in 3 months. And then nothing for 3 months, and here's a bunch more, and then now we don't have anything until Rogue One starts to roll around. So, our Hot Toys, just new movie, all these characters, bam, here they all are. What do you kind of prefer? Even Transformers, there was a time before Titans Return started hitting shelves that it was just bare for months. So,
Yeah, the last wave was with Skylinks, wasn't it?
yeah, which my stores never got.
Yeah, I never found them either.
I will tell you who got those. That was TJ Maxx and Ross. They got all those damn things.
Yeah, apparently Ross here in Vegas had it for $13, I think. It was clearance.
There you go.
See, I've said this before. Roadbuster is still at my Walmart. The Thrilling 30 Roadbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange how they do that. Because anytime you ask Hasbro about it at a panel or whatnot, they say, well, we can't control what let's buy and how often they put it out. But the thing is, take Titans Return seems to be doing the exact same thing that Combiner Wars did, where you've got, all right, end of the summer, Wave 1, a month later, Wave 2, a month and a half later, Wave 3, and then crickets. And maybe you get Wave 3, maybe you finally get Wave 4, but I'm still get excited when I see an Onslaught in the stores. So, I mean, it's and this time, I said, well, screw that. I'm not hunting. I'm not hunting this line. I'm going to pre-order everything. So I pre-ordered everything from Big Bad Toy Store, and then started finding stuff in stores before they got the pre-orders in, and I was like, So you just can't win for losing. But
that's why, I like
how it was
dealing
for me
with
the deluxes.
like you said, you can always cancel. Like that's what I do is I'm like, okay, there it is, goes in cart and cancel pre-order. Like on my
it's
phone
like
right there.
I did the exact same thing with the deluxes, and then it's like every time something. So Galvatron finally came in for me at Big Bad Toy Store, and I was like, kind of like, damn, I'm about to find him somewhere. Now I'm paying shipping anyway.
Hey, we live in the same town, man. I ain't seen nobody. Like, there's no Titans Return out there. I haven't even seen Skylinks. Is the Titan, has Fortress Maximus come out? Because my pre-order from Amazon got delayed until October.
Yeah, Bill says
I saw that, and
They're
that's
starting
what
to show up at Toys R Us.
So yeah, for some reason,
Yeah.
it was supposed to come out this week on Amazon, and I've had a pre-order since day one, and it got delayed until October. Like, I got an email saying, I'm sorry, your toy is being delayed until October.
Tulala says
Here-
Titans Titan Wars, or what, I guess Titans Returns. He says it won't get there until 2019. He lives in Israel, to where like he pays like $50 to ship a deluxe to him and stuff like that. So
Here's the story. A lot of what I've heard on Titans Return Fort Max was that Big Bad got it early, apparently, where my understanding was that San Diego wanted to have it before the retail ones, where they could push the San Diego version versus the retail one. Big Bad got theirs early, and then I got my order, because I'm a wholesaler, about 3 weeks ago was when I got mine in, and then just this week they started hitting Toys R Us shelves. But a lot of people who did the pre-order with Toys R Us and got the extra 20% off and got marked down to like $127 or something like that are all now getting letters telling them, oh, well, if we don't have it by a certain date, we're going to cancel that order and you're going to lose out on that decent price.
Speaking of price,
That sounds like a call waiting to happen to customer service.
Price
well, here's a lot of people who have been saying. A lot of people have been saying that they've gone to their local Toys R Us and they found it now, and so they've shown the pre-order with the price they got it for, and some of the Toys R Us's are actually honoring what they've already pre-ordered the price at, and they've gotten it, and they're going to cancel their pre-order, or their pre-order already got canceled, and they have a letter showing that it was canceled because of due to availability. But all the new pre-orders coming up is late August, even so, like y'all said, Amazon being in October.
Yeah.
So basically what it's amounting to is that, I see that we saw this before, and I can't remember which figure. It wasn't, I don't think it was Metroplex, but there was a figure a couple years ago that everybody was going crazy over pre-ordering it, and we're getting these letters saying, oh, we're going to cancel it now, and you're going to lose out on this discount. That's where a lot of, toy
Was that
anger comes
Devastator?
from.
Because I know there were some crazy deals for Devastator.
well, remember
Maybe it was Devi. I can't remember.
Metroplex, the cheapest, because we were following it during Christmas whenever it was coming out, and we were like, oh, here it is for now, it's $120. Oh, now it's under $100. I think the cheapest it ever got was at Costco or Sam's Club. It was one of them. Then it was $49, and I still didn't pick it up. I was still like,
Costco.
no.
Then it was Metroplex. That was that. I remember it was really cheap, and it was at Costco's where it was that cheap. And same thing happened. People ordered. I mean, I'm in Arkansas, and I never saw it in retail. The only place I saw that was Hastings for almost $200.
Dude, if Costco puts Fort Max up for $49, I'm just going to buy one to sit on for a year and resell it for like $300.
Well, Fort Max, I mean, I was at BotCon in 15 Chicago, and I was looking over there at, it was at a Transformer land. And I was just looking and everything, and this one guy says, hey, I want to take this right down here. And he goes, oh, the Metroplex? Okay, that'll be $300. And he just locked it out like it was nothing. Like, since when is Metroplex going for $300?
Yeah, as soon as they all sold out and everybody wanted them.
It's like as soon as they
They have
disappeared.
like 50 different versions too.
Yeah, there's a lot more difference on the Metroplexes versus what's on the Fort Maxes. Between this year's Fort Max, San Diego, and retail, there's not a whole lot of difference in it at all, as far as like your detailing on it or stickers. I mean, Metroplex, the difference was that you got the little, what was it, the little decoys, you got the extra gun, you got chrome hips, you got a lot of different stuff that year, where this year, all we got was a gigantic stick.
You got the stick with the Fortress Maximus San Diego Comic Con one?
Yeah, you want to see my stick? Here's my stick. Here's my stick. Here's my stick. So yeah, it came with this huge sword.
Dakota one?
No, the Dakota one I think is Dakota. Dakota what was it? Or no, Rick. Right, Rick's getting the car version, aren't you, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick and I both.
So what was the difference on it? Yeah. So it has the sword, and what else was the difference?
It's just paint. It's just paint stuff, and the Cerebros is from their series and not Rebirth.
Yeah,
there's some.
That's right. Yeah.
Fortress.
The paint differences are pretty severe. It's a different Fort Max. I mean, I think, but I wanted both of them, so I like Fort Max.
Well, I mean, the sticker. Now the stickers. There's more stickers on the San Diego one that I'm really more impressed with than there was on the retail version. The retail version, I don't know what I did with the sticker sheet, wasn't very much stickers on it at all, where the, San Diego has all these stickers on it. This is as big as the sticker sheet is for your retail version, and I would say there's probably another sheet the same size that probably went on this San Diego version.
I will
which
say
makes it look a lot better.
I'm happy to see that, because the older I get, the less I like putting stickers on. I just wish the crap just came pre.
Some of these are not easy. Some of these are hard. Some of these.
Oh, it's not like I got shaky hands or my eyes are going bad.
Yeah, no, I understand. I do a lot of stickering too. This one had a few where you've got like a translucent piece and you're putting like gold on top of it, and you've got like a light shining on it. And there were a few that were a little bit like, oh Jesus Christ, am I done with this yet? I felt that way.
Hire somebody with small hands like my kids. I don't trust my kids to do it.
Yeah.
There was a guy on Facebook that said that he was getting his wife does all his stickers for him because she's a surgeon.
True love.
Wow.
Yeah, we see who wears the pants in that family.
Wow.
No, that's a keeper.
It's good she's finally putting her skills to good real use.
Going back to the topic. What about the rest of you guys? Yeah.
So the 1/6 stuff, if you're really collecting the 1/6, then you kind of understand the situation. If you collect for maybe a year, you'll understand like what they do. So like if Captain America: Civil War comes out, and Hot Toys releases it overseas, they're getting their hands on it. A few review people here might get it. Usually there's like a 2-month gap between when it hits there and it comes out here. And what they're doing is they're waiting until they have Captain America, and maybe they have another stormtrooper, and maybe they have Marty McFly. They're waiting until they have a few months worth of pre-order stuff that they can ship over in the same containers, and when it hits, even if you have flex pays, like there's one day in August, I want to say it's like the 20th. I've got 5 on the same exact day. So if you're a 1/6 collector, you can call customer service and move stuff around. They actually have a calendar set up on their site that keeps track in your account, because it gets that crazy where you might have a month where there's nothing. The next month you have 6 figures all at the same time, because they're all shipping them. They're not shipping them one at a time. They're shipping like 6 or 7 of these guys, and then they all hit. And when you see they're all hitting, the fear of God comes into you. It's like I really want all of them, but how can I move these around? So I'm usually on the phone with like customer service. You can do some of it on your account, and you can move stuff and shift stuff. If you flex pay, they keep a calendar for you. If you don't flex pay, they will send you emails. And the problem with the emails now is now that they have all these licenses, especially Star Wars, and they've gotten so deep, I don't know if they've improved in other areas. So everything just kind of, you get an email with an update. Hulkbuster's a good example. When things shift like 3 or 4 times, you have to keep track of it on your calendar to see when everything is charging. Last year when there was like a union strike on the West Coast, it was a nightmare. Like I almost was just calling it quits. I was telling my wife, I was on the phone like once a week trying to figure out, well, what's the date it's actually going to charge? Because some of these things are, $250. A lot of hot toys are like $250. Your flex pays usually will, if you do 2 payments, you'll knock it down to like $100 or $95. But sometimes it feels like a job, and I hate that about the hot toy stuff. So because once you get it and your hands are on it, it's great. But keeping up with it, it's not like DC Icons or Transformers. Like Transformers, they come out in these waves. You're expecting it, and because the community has gotten so big, when they're hitting, where they're hitting, what stores have. It's easy to keep track of it. So I don't really mind the Transformers stuff, and the price points are lower. The only thing about Transformers that's difficult now is I think this line is really good. It's really solid, and it makes me want the Takara on top of some of the Hasbros, especially when you do like the hard head and it's got the 2 faces. Do you go faceplate? Do you go, the eyes and stuff? So it's making me want both. The Fort Max is another good example where, I want at least 2 out of the 3.
So Rick, I really feel you on the Hot Toys, except mine aren't that crazy. I collect Mega House figures. I do they're a Japanese company, but the Portrait of Pirates, which is a one-piece figures, they're about 100, 150. However, then they also have like limited editions, exclusive to only stores in Japan, like 1 or 2 stores, right? So I'm already spending this much money, and you can't find these exclusive figures anywhere except for like 1 or 2 third-party sellers from Japan. So I have to go through that. But you're right. There is no set schedule. Like I pre-order, and nothing happens for and then all of a sudden there's 5 figures that get released, and I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna pay the house? Like that.
Right.
That's my priorities.
I know exactly.
Kids ain't eating today. Kids are not eating for a week.
There are seriously times where I have a 3.5-year-old, and he's talking about, I want the new ones. He likes the one-step Transformers, and I'm like, man, I could either get him 3 of those one-steps, or I could keep my pre-order for that damn Black Widow.
I'm glad
it's tough. You got tough choices. No. Yep.
Yeah, my little girls are into Shopkins, right? But when I went to Target, I was looking for Transformers, and I found one during it was the Combiner Wars, and I'm like, well, I could either get them those Shopkins figures, or I could get so I ended up with the Combiner Wars.
Yeah.
And I took them out for ice cream, which is a lot cheaper, but they were just as happy.
Yep. I'll turn to my wife and say it's bologna sandwiches this week because Captain Phasma's full charging on Thursday.
Yep. She must be in bed asleep for you to say that.
She is, but it's a truth. Total truth.
It's like the kids, they open their lunch kits, and all it is Vienna sausages and taco sauce. Like, that's all they got.
Yeah.
I guess I'll make a meal out of this.
I was okay eating that stuff growing up, and I turned out all right.
Yeah.
As far as me, everything on pre-order. I know that the Hot Toy stuff, they usually give you like a month projection and stuff like that. The Star Wars, I've kind of figured it out to where I kind of prepare myself. But let's say BBTS, because Dan, you were talking about you pre-order a lot of stuff on there. I have tons, I think over 100 items on there. I like it that they break it down at least say month. So they'll be like, hey, here's what's coming out July. So I'm waiting for a few DC icons to drop in the neck of Donatello, and I know that okay now ship. And then here's August. But then they got it to where there's like $4 or $5 grand worth of stuff to where it just says third quarter. You know, and I'm like, no, I need to know, like, can you put this in month, please? Like, there's stuff that I'm not prepared. Like, if it's just a $20, $25, $30 figure that, like, okay, I didn't know that was coming, but no big deal. But if you're going to drop that $400 Voltron one on me, you know, just at random times, or the Batwing, like, these are high-ticket items, dude, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
You know, let me know. So I wish that they would go through and just be like, okay, we got a better idea on this instead of just saying third quarter.
Yeah.
You know, when I realized it had gotten bad for me, and I'm sure this happened to you guys too, is when my credit card company stopped calling me saying, "Where are all these charges from? Like, you know, you got like $500 coming from here." Yeah, they stopped. They don't do that anymore. They just know.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I've noticed that always, you know, when we're talking about these things and the pre-orders and stuff, something always takes a hit. There's always something that I don't get. I've noticed that when Hasbro's official product, like the Transformer stuff, is really solid, the first thing that goes is my third-party love. I've gotten all the fans' toys, Dinobots, and Stomp has been out for a few months, and he is on my list, but he is the first thing that I shift. So I have noticed that. So which for a while I was really felt like I was steering towards the third party harder than I was official product. But I think Hasbro has done an excellent job bringing me back over to, you know, and I still say there's room for both, but I feel really good about official lately, and I can live without some of the third party.
You know, another thing that kind of, I guess, go with this is as SDCC happens and all these other toy shows, Toy Fair, and they're like, hey, we're coming out with this new line. I remember when they first came out with DC Icons, or like with the new Masters of the Universe 2.0, the Filmation stuff for the Thundercats. Hopefully that continues on. You still only have a certain amount of money. You make this amount of money. Certain amount of money goes to rent, bills, kids, family, stuff like that, and you are left with whatever X amount of dollars for your collecting habits. So you already have stuff that you're buying, but as something new comes in, you've got to take something away. You know, it's so the pie is only so big. Where do you cut fat? Like, to me, it was like third-party Transformers. I was like, I got to cut the fat there. Also, I've been selling all my G1 Transformers because I'm like, well, I'm not going to complete this thing anytime soon, especially when I get to the Japanese stuff, it being so expensive, so let me cut fat there.
See, I came to that same conclusion a while ago, and my Transformers collection is actually fairly small now because I went through, I was 5, 6, 7 years ago, and sold off the vast majority on the idea of like, all right, well, if this is going to be sustainable, I've got to figure out some method. I just came down to one toy per character. So, like, as the Masterpiece figures come out for the G1 cars, I'm selling the original G1 car. Just kind of trying to keep it tailored to that. I haven't done a lot of the third-party stuff. In fact, I think the only one that I got was Apollyon, because I just needed something to go with MP10.
Right.
But I found that's actually worked well. Now, Titan's Return is throwing that for a loop because, God, all these figures are so good. That's the goal, at least.
I don't sell because I have issues. I can't. It's so hard for me to let go of something in my collection. I hate it, but I've done it in the past. Not just to make room, but to also be able to afford something that I've pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Like it's something big, like Fortress Maximus or whatever. Something else has to go. Whether it's a comic book, like first appearance of some character that's going for a crap lot of money now because Ryan Reynolds was the main.
Yeah.
It had to go. So.
See, I normally find myself, like, normally whenever I sell something, I'll just buy it like a year later, just buy it back. But here lately, man, I've been unloading a lot of stuff where I'm just like, you know what, it doesn't fit, the end goal. And for me, which is relatively easy, it's Beast Wars and BotCon stuff. So I don't have this crazy. Easy. What's up?
So that is easy. Beast
yeah,
Wars.
yeah. Yeah, it's there. There's not a whole lot, really to go off there. It's just
They're
couple
coming.
of
Those masterpieces are coming.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and it's I even said in the Cybercast earlier, I have 3 MP Primals on pre-order. Whenever Cheetor goes up, I'm gonna have 3 of those on pre-order. I have some stuff I'll buy multiples of. If it's a favorite character or if it's something like Masterpiece. Never would I have ever thought that in 2016, I'd see Masterpiece Optimus Primal. So that was a no-brainer. Time to get one for Robot, one for Beast, and one to keep sealed, and hopefully get signed one day.
His name is Harambe, but
Yeah, so sorry, Harambe.
Harambe Prime.
But yeah, so I was actually looking at my car robots RID shelf today, and I was like, you know what? I don't, there's no spot for this. It's which is a relatively short and easy line to collect, because there weren't really a whole lot of main characters or anything like that. I was like, it's just I'm not feeling it anymore. Like I was whenever I started kind of buying them here and there. So I was like, you know what? Time for it to go. Time for all of it to go.
Yeah, I let mine go in January, and the only one I kept from that line was the fire truck Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Wait, and the Galvatron. No,
Yeah.
Magnetron, whatever his name was.
The white one or the purple one?
The purple one.
Okay, yeah.
I had the Japanese ones.
I think it was Gigatron and then Devil Gigatron.
Yeah, that was it.
As far as the Japanese ones go, but yeah, I look at all that stuff and I'm like, well, as far as that Megatron goes, I've got the BotCon 2016 one, which in my opinion, that was such a dream come true, and they did it, and I was like, perfect. So I don't need that purple one anymore. It gets overlooked every time in favor of the red dragon, Beast Wars Crazy Little 3 Megatron. So.
I was going to say it's more of for me, I'm into so many different things that it's a balancing act all year. And I'm sure it's like this for a lot of people that are into this stuff. A lot of times I'll base in years past when BotCon rolls around, that is when I'm 100% into picking up 1 or 2 vintage toys, Transformers that I've been wanting for 2 decades. And I'll pick up a few, and this year is definitely no different. And usually after that, I'll bounce around. 1 month, like I said, is going to be Hot Toys like crazy. And then I do Motu Classics too. So, I try to find, I usually would get the subs for them, so the worst might be 2 figures a month. But every once in a while, I want to pick up a mass toy. Like a few weeks ago, I got a Stinger. So it's a balancing act. And like I said, the first thing to go is the third-party stuff. I still like some of the third-party stuff. I feel good about Make Toys. There's a few companies, NMC, but they still are the first to go because I still like all of the fiction that goes. I've always said, I've talked to people at BotCon about it too. If the third-party companies ever develop their fiction to a point where we can sink our teeth in, then the official companies are in trouble. They haven't figured it out yet, I don't think yet. But when it gets there.
Quick question, Rick. Have you read the comic that comes with Mastermind Creations Spartan?
Yes, I think I've read all the comics, all the MMC stuff.
Oh man, that was so good. Yeah.
That's the best version.
I was reading that and I was like, holy shit, am I reading a Wrecker story? You had Iron Fist and Topspin and Twin Twist, and I guess I don't know if there was anyone else, but all of those I saw, and I was like, okay, so we got the Mech Ideas guys in here, and all the stuff that Spartan or Impactor did in that, I was like, dude, that is a Wrecker story. There was blood and all this fantastic stuff.
2 BotCons ago, they had a representative from MMC, and I talked to him, and we were talking about the fiction. And at that point, he was telling me that there's some stuff coming from them, that they were going to try their best to come up with some fiction to sell more toys, And they've probably done the best job out of all of them. But the rest of them, they're putting out homages, unless there's every once in a while you get an original idea. But not often. But yeah, for me, they're the first to go. But if they ever come up with a way to give us a little more fiction, I don't know what will go after that. I got tough choices.
Yeah, and see, I thought Fans Project, I thought they were doing good there with the shit. What's that thing called? Their original robot, the Core.
Oh, the
Yeah,
steel
the
core?
core line.
Steel Core, yes. I thought
Yeah.
they were really starting to hit on something good there,
They
and
were.
then it's like that was it. You know, it
Yep.
was.
They got into the headmasters, and then it seemed like the other stuff kind of. I agree with you. I thought they were tops for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they had some original ideas, a little bit going on in there. It was fun.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right. Did anybody have anything else for that one, or ready to move on?
I don't remember what the topic was now. We talked about so much different stuff. Like, what were we talking about to begin with?
Yeah. It was like, what do you shave? Like, what do you cut? Like, if you're something
okay.
new comes, you want to collect it. Obviously, you only have a certain amount of money. So.
I get rid of one of my kids.
Well, there you go.
Kid's gotta go.
Acceptable.
Huh? What did you say?
I said that's acceptable. I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta cut something.
For me, you get the little one's gotta go. Bye bye.
I mean, maybe you get rid of one of those 12 cats you have, or you know.
You went right for the kids.
Like, no, I'll get rid of another kid before I get rid of that cat. All right, so here's another thing. Do you enjoy the subscription-based toy lines? And you know, like Mattel does, even though they're shutting down, they're going to Super 7. But do you always hate that there's still more for you to buy out there? Because whenever I read the whole thing about subscription services, it's like, this is all you need to do. Subscribe here. This is for adults. You don't want to be chasing stuff all the time. So just subscribe. You get all the figures. You're going to get all of them. So even if you don't like them all, you're going to get them all. But that's not the case. Then here's an exclusive at this place, an exclusive at this place, and it's only up for 5 seconds before it sells out. And like, the whole point of the whole subscription service is, like, now you've kind of screwed over adult collectors with it, you know, with the exclusives and just stuff like that. So basically wanted to bring up, you know, the way you look at, like, subscription-based toy lines, or, you know, exclusives, the rarity of it, having to track all the stuff down, like as if you don't have a job, you have to do the stuff.
I always saw the
trying to find
subscription
stuff.
services as
go ahead,
being
Dan.
such a great idea, but I would love to see it be, frankly, kind of like, you know, MG Music Club. Every month I get a box. If I like what's in the box, I keep the box. If I don't like what's in the box, I send the box. You know, I mean, if I could sign up for the official Hasbro Transformers service, and they just send me Wave 1, and I'd be like, that's great. I'd like this. But the Mattel collectors and stuff like that, it's exactly what you're saying. The fact that you don't really get everything seems to me to defeat the entire purpose. I understand that that's just the only distribution model that they can manage on the small scale that the figures are being produced, but still, it's just it's like, you know, it's stabbing you with the other hand. I don't know.
See, if I knew I was going full in on a line like a Transformers main line, like if I knew, you know, for a fact, no doubts, I wanted to get every single toy that came out of Titan's Return, which I don't. You know, I don't think I would want to opt for that kind of subscription service, but I do like it for club stuff, exclusives, you know, stuff that's more or less up my alley. I like the surprise of getting something, not knowing what it is until the last, like, 1 or 2 shipments. You know, I like that. You know, it's okay. I'll pay all this money up front, and then, you know, throughout the rest of the year, I'll just have a little surprise waiting on me in my mailbox, on a given week of a given month. I like that. I think it's solid. You know, you don't really have to worry about, you know, waiting for a pre-order to go up, or, you know, sitting by your computer whenever something that's in stock, like basically like what the Collectors Club has done for their store exclusives. Granted, I still have to do that for, you know, for this year for, like, Skywarp and the G.I. Joe stuff, but oh man, I really do dig that form of a subscription service. But if it's like subscribing to an entire, you know, toy line worth of stuff, I don't know, because there's going to be some stuff, like you look at Combiner Wars Wave 3, Wave 4, the Optimus Maximus wave with Sunstreaker and all that. Oh, dude, no way. God. No thank you. You know, that wouldn't have... oh, man, I would have definitely, like, sent all that back or canceled or something. So...
See, the other thing is like especially whenever you're talking about Matty Collector with He-Man or even with the Thundercats. I know this was a problem me and Rick had. Where we buy the sub for the Thundercats line. We're all on board. We want to be part of this, and the very first figure that you come out with is an exclusive that goes up on their website for 5 seconds, literally 5 seconds before it sells out. And I had to do that. Had to do it 3 different days, and I got one for myself and one for Rick because he was trying to do it as well and wasn't getting it, because I had to have all my information already entered to where I was sitting there hitting refresh. As soon as it went live, add to cart. Here's my security code on my credit card, and complete order. And then I refresh, and it was already sold out. So it literally sold out in 5 seconds each day.
I feel your pain. I went through that amiibo phase.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that.
Dude, I was a grown-ass man taking a lunch, walking from Target to Toys R Us to Best Buy because they all had exclusives, right? Like GameStop had an exclusive, Toys R Us had exclusives, and Target had exclusives. And the thing is, they all came out the same freaking day. So I was bouncing back and forth, and they all opened it a little, like an hour within each other. But I can only stand in line in one place. So I was like, oh man, do I really want a Jigglypuff or do I want a Ness?
Jiggly, I want Jiggly.
The correct answer is always Jigglypuff.
All grown men are faced with that daily, right?
Now when it comes to Jigglypuff.
But I was the same way. I would try to pre-order through the websites, Target, Best Buy, and they were gone within seconds. Like people would be posting on Reddit or Twitter, like, "Hey, it's live now." By the time you click on it and add it to the cart, it was gone.
And see, we're also have to do that.
Well, and then I realized I'm like, I got a job. I don't really feel like standing in line in the middle of the winter time. I'll just pay the few extra bucks and get it on eBay. As much as I hate to do that, but I think I have to do that with Skylinks, for example. I try to find Skylinks and I could not find them.
Yeah.
Well, see, we're about to have to do that. At least Maddie said that, hey, we're starting at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hasbro Toy Shop, the 9th is when they said, August 9th is when they're going to put their San Diego Comic-Con stuff, what's left, on their website. But even when I called Hasbro, we don't really know the time. All we can tell you is it's going to be sometime on the 9th. So maybe in the morning, but if not, then the afternoon. I'm like, you really aren't giving me any information here.
That is so vague.
Yeah.
Do you all remember, wasn't it like 9 a.m. last year?
I was fixing to say 9 a.m. Central Standard Time is when it went live last year. Usually they wait till at least the West Coast is up and, they're usually up. Now I've seen them where they've gone in the middle, closer, for they're still in bed and go live, and then you got to hear all the haters how they didn't wait until we were up and about and our day was started. That's anywhere you go. I mean,
30.
Hasbro Toy Shop, right? Hasbro Toy Shop is like the worst to try to buy anything off of after San Diego. Now, last year it was a lot better. They had more exclusives on hand than they did in years past. Where I don't, like I told you, Rick, I would wait. Buying the 3-pack somewhere else. Wait till Hasbro Toy Shop. Cause I really think it's going like the Ford Max. People are paying $300 on eBay for it.
Yeah.
They're wasting their money. You need to wait before you spend the $300. Wait. Luckily, I got lucky that I had people who were there who were willing to stand in line for an extra $50 for me and get my stuff for me. So
I just need 2 of the Star Wars things. I need the old Ben and I need Jin.
Yeah, that one you can hang up. You don't get that one probably. Isn't that the one with the repackage you were telling about? Isn't that repackage?
Yeah. I just like to have every single version, even though it's going to come out regular version later.
can't.
Oh, Rick, you're cutting out.
It
It is.
Rick is froze. Rick is out.
All right. Are you back, Rick?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we didn't hear anything. Or I didn't hear anything you said.
Yeah, I think
I
that
didn't hear.
there is a storm, but I was hoping it would be fine. The thing I hate is Hasbro Toy Shop. I hate it because usually I'm at work. I do like a corporate, like a 8 to 4:30 type situation, and I'm always in meetings and just ridiculous madness where it's just not even worth it. Like there's so much, so much trouble, like the waiting in line thing. Same deal, like toy hunting. Unless I'm going to pick up razor blades or something at a Walmart or like going in Target because I need bananas, I don't know. Toy hunting is a second priority to those. So if I'm going in, that's cool. Otherwise, I'm not spending gas. Like I'm just not doing it. So like the Hasbro Toy Shop thing, I've ordered from them once or twice, and I absolutely hate their website. I feel like it's a website from 1998. I just can't deal with it.
Because it is.
Their search engine is the worst search engine I've ever encountered. Ever.
Worse than
but anyway,
FunPub.
Worse than FunPub, and that's a statement. On the technology side, FunPub. Woo. Anyway, toys great though. I was going to say like the subline. I understand why they do what they do, but I'm not those people. Like I am that person where if I buy a sub, I don't give a shit if it's Castle Grayskull, Point Dread, Snake Mountain, and 20 figures. If I know what to expect and I get a sub, I'm down. I'm in. Because usually if you're getting a sub, you're already deep into the line. You're not like a cherry picker collector. And I know that's what they've always been worried about is there's not enough of them, But I'm not that person. I'm the other person. I'm the Snake Mountain guy. I'm the reason they made that. So make it for me.
You talk about Hasbro Toy Shop. It looks, dude, Hasbro Toy Shop reminds me of like 2001 Amazon.com. You know what I mean?
Horrible. It's horrible. They should feel bad about it. I feel like they should feel shamed. They should feel bad about it.
That's where all your HasCon and HasCon Collectors Club exclusives are gonna start showing up.
Don't tell me that,
dude. Like Hasbro Toy Shop, like they're using Windows 95, and their email address is hasbrotoyshop@juno.com. Like that's.
It beats standing in line waiting for something though, like at somewhere you don't even shop, like I don't know, Hot Topic, or like what am I? Why am I here? Like, right, exactly.
Yeah, but you don't look like a jackass at Walgreens. You look like a jackass at Hot Topic.
Yeah. You're surrounded by a bunch of kids, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm waiting for the Hasbro Transformer.
Yeah, I heard they got this Brainstorm figure, so I'm waiting in line. I've been here for 8 hours.
What the hell is a Brainstorm?
As soon as you walk in the door, where does the line start for Brainstorm? Like, what?
That'd be great.
And
dude,
course,
they probably don't even know.
I was going to say, they only hire like people that are like in their early 20s.
There's been times where I've gone to Walgreens and they're like, you ask them about their exclusive, they're like, we have an exclusive? What is it?
Yes.
They don't even know what they have half time.
Yeah. There was one kid once that I saw, this is back when the white Boba Fett guy.
And he's out. That storm hit again.
Sounded like the beginning
No,
of
I
the
was
It was so shady. Like, I knew he was like, I'll hook you up. And I was just like, you've been doing this like all week, haven't you? Have you been like upselling them? What's going on? Yeah, I had one kid once that knew exactly. He knew what was up.
Did anybody else not notice he didn't miss a beat? He kept on going.
Oh, yeah,
he
just went straight through.
He was going through. He was still on. We're like, we can't hear Rick. The storm must be going through. He's steadily going. He comes back on at the end of the story.
All right.
No, I actually got lucky. I have a friend who's a manager at Walgreens. He actually put in an order for a case of those for me that he says he's going to have on Monday. So we'll wait and see.
Oh, so
Yeah,
those
we
are
will
gonna
wait and see,
be,
won't we?
gonna be hitting soon, huh?
The street date on them was August 1st.
Okay. So I'll go check those
I'll hit
out.
you up on that,
I
Mike.
guess we'll find.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
here's a question for you, and we talked about this pre-show. Let's say you're having a romantic dinner with your significant other, or if you don't have one, then let's say a date, you know, and a few adults start to gather around you, and you're like kind of wondering what they're doing. They're trying to catch Pokemons. Maybe they're at your table, maybe at the restaurant or around you. Uh, how do you kind of respond to that? Now, I know, Omar, you said that, dude, that's my wife doing
Oh yeah,
that.
my wife would be at other people's table. Like, excuse me, I gotta get that Charmeleon. No, I think it's really cool, man. You know, it really hit me when we were in Seattle and we went to this beautiful park, and 90% of the people were just walking around, you know, catching Pokemon. Like, I thought that was really cool. And they all knew what they were, like, everybody else was doing, because that's what they were all doing. And I think it's a cool phenomenon. I don't know if, you know, I'm sure it's going to be a fad, but I think it's really cool. It's bringing people out, you know, doing things. Introverts, they're going out and, you know, because there's like different teams and stuff that they can join. Like, everything I know about it is because of my wife and actually my entire family. But I think it's cool. I would
See, if somebody walked up to my table and said, "Hey, I want to catch that Pokemon. Do you mind, or can I get in your space or whatever?"
You're
I would tell them,
charging.
yes, $15. And if they balked at it or thought I was joking, I'd pull my phone out like I was about shit. And then, you know, I just wait to see them just like reach in their pocket real quick. I totally. I'm that jerk. But I don't know. Like I find it kind of humorous. I saw a video of a guy like in Times Square, and he just screamed Gyarados, Gyarados, and everyone started like just bum rushing. You know, so
But you got to put it in our perspective,
it's
right?
cool, but
like, it would be like somebody, all of us walking in the freaking Costco's, and somebody saying, "Look, there's a Metroplex for $49.95." You know, all our asses would be running that damn Metroplex.
Oh yeah,
oh,
dude.
we haven't
Like,
met. I don't run.
dude,
Fuck that.
running over
Yeah.
kids with shopping carts, everything, dude.
Shit, man. I was pushing little kids out the way when the fucking Amiibos came out.
I gotta have my Puffy. I gotta have Puffy.
Dude, we were talking about that. Is like there was a kid. He had like this one thing that I wanted. It was the last one. He's sitting there, and I'm just standing there.
I hate
Dude,
that.
I'm
I
just
hate that.
standing there, just waiting. I'm not saying anything, and then he just looks at me. I'm looking back at him. He finally puts. As soon as it left his fingers, mine.
It's like
Yoink.
It didn't even
take
touch
your
the
finger
show.
off it.
It's like the
Oh,
kid was
yeah.
midway dropping it, and Josh was already just like walking by, just grab it.
See, me, I'd probably be that guy who, if someone were to come up to me while I was having a romantic dinner with my significant other, I would just rip the phone out of their hand and throw it on the ground to say, I really don't give a crap.
Savage, dude. Such savagery.
You know what? Since he turned 21, he's gotten more cockier than he was earlier in the year.
No longer a sweet young boy anymore.
He's
Well, I mean,
21
seriously.
man and got anger issues.
Let's see. What about the rest of you guys? The Pokemon thing, or even if you want to start telling stories about how we'll throw a child an elbow, you know, if they try to go for the same toy as us. I mean, whatever you want to talk about.
It's funny with the Pokemon. My wife is not into any of the stuff that I'm into. And I downloaded the game when it came out, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind to drive home on our anniversary dinner? Because I want to catch Pokemon as we drive through downtown." And she kind of laughed at me, but she's like, "Yeah, sure, that's fine." And then I come home the next day, and she's like, "I'm level 6." It was just the weirdest thing in the world. This is one of the very few things that is kind of just in my sphere that she has really taken an interest in. Both our kids are into it, and it's actually been really cool. Like, just in terms of, like, we're going out to the parks, we're going out and doing all this. So,
You got
if
something
I'm
to
sitting
talk
there having a
about.
dinner,
Dinner time.
that's right. That's right.
You haven't said shit to each other for like 10 years. Now you got all these topics, you know. Who did you catch today? Let me tell you about my day.
We have had that conversation. It has been glorious.
Oh yeah, another Pidgey, huh? Yeah, mix 37.
Oh man.
Anybody else, or you got any
Well,
shopping
well,
stories?
Well, I was going to say on the significant other dating thing, since we don't date or go out on dates or do anything fancy like that, I wouldn't have that problem. So, for all you guys who actually go out on nice dates with your significant other, kudos to you. But I spend too much money on toys to do that
I
now.
was gonna say, are you rubbing in the fact that you can spend all that money on toys?
You damn Skippy. Now, I got the same story that Josh has about a kid. I don't remember what the toy was. But I came around that toy section, and that little bastard was holding the toy I needed. And I was like, God damn it, I need that toy. But he looked around, hey, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. He puts it down. I grab it, and I haul my big ass out of there.
It's like, hey, you know what?
Well,
Just set it down there. I'll watch it for you while you go find your mom. You know.
I know, right? Go find Mommy.
Just take another one off the
that
peg and put it in
that
his
fat boy was going to hold it for me, and I don't know what he did with it.
Also, another thing, the last one that I remember is Toys R Us was the Force Friday. What was it, August 4th or September 4th? For all the Force Awakens stuff. I was second in line with my buddy. He actually was there. He was used to be the old co-manager at Toys R Us, so we were up there, and there was some people like we were like, okay, what's the best route here? And they're like, look, man, if we just go straight, like everyone's gonna go this way. There's a lot of like bins and stuff in the middle of the aisles, and it's gonna get clustered up there. But if we just go straight and take a right, dude, it's just straight shots. Just 2 turns, we're right there, and we could beat everybody. Like, we were strategic about it, and then like we were running to where like all these other people were like, look, man, I'm gonna kind of walk and be cool. I'm like, you're shopping for Star Wars toys at midnight. Ain't no cool about that, man. Just I don't know why y'all are trying to like walk, and so like we were there and we got full waves of everything, and then I think I went to Walmart later, and then I was like, oh, they got a bunch of stuff. So then I started army building the troopers. So
I have to give props to Dan. Like, I've been toy hunting with him, and it's kind of funny to watch him. He has this walk. He never realized that he had. It's kind of like almost like a strut, like
The toy strut.
a very brisk walk, to where if he was wearing wind pants, you just hear.
I like to think of it as more of a walk with purpose rather than a strut.
Oh
but
yeah,
I'm not
there's a definite drive in his eyes. Like, nothing is stopping him from finding these fucking things. And like, I remember I was following. Like, he knows where to go. Like, whenever we went to like Kmart or Walmart, just searching for the specific Transformer lines that just came out, he knows the quickest. He's like, we'll cut through the garden center and head through the tire and lube. And in and out, like, as soon like he scopes out the area. He's got, like, instead of like having peripheral vision for chicks, he has peripheral vision for Transformer figures. And he's like, we don't need to go down that aisle. We need to get the hell out of here. We need to go to Target. He's like a Transformer toy whisperer.
That's good, though.
It's like the toys aren't there, and he's just like, all right, grab hold of my shirt. What are you doing? He puts 2 fingers to his forehead, and he starts to disappear, and you're like, oh shit.
Man, I wish that were true. It's funny, Rick, when you said earlier how thing is always secondary. I say the exact same thing as I'm driving to Target before I go to work in the morning to with no real purpose other than to look for toys. I said, this is secondary to something.
Yeah.
Something.
This is secondary to that Snickers bar I must have from Target.
That's right. That's right.
Usually on the toy hunting things, like I've kind of coordinated with like a lot of the managers there to where I'm like, okay, what days do you get a truck in, and when's it out? So for it's Wednesday and Saturday, mornings for my Toys R Us and my Target. They said I forget which days it are, but it's like basically every day they get a truck. So. But the Toys R Us is the main one that I usually, and that there's no reason to go on there any other day than the 2 days they get truck and be the first one. So
the only
Our
people
Toys R
that
Us is Friday mornings, and it makes it so difficult because they don't open until after everybody's already at work.
right.
If you don't have a good excuse to be out there, that's it.
you guys,
Maybe not a good excuse.
So you guys make friends with managers and stuff like that. The only people that I've ever come in contact with are like really shady characters that are like this goes back to the amiibo thing. Like I was looking for this exclusive figure, and this guy like that works at Target said, "Hey man, come here." He's like, "You need a Rosalina?" It was like he pulled me to the corner, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I need a Rosalina." He's like, "All right, man, come back at 2. I'll get you a Rosalina."
Dude, he hands it to you in a paper bag.
Well, I feel like he's one of these guys that can make things disappear off the back of the truck. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't care where the hell it comes from. I'm getting a Rosalina.
You had to pay cash.
Cash only, yes. And it was a little bit of a markup, but
No paper trail.
Yeah, and what he probably did is bought it with his discount and then sold it, the cash only, whatever. I've seen people do stuff like that, but with my like that one Toys R Us manager, like he doesn't work there anymore. He quit, but I was like, okay, where's the next Toys R Us manager? And I started talking with him. So where both of them, they've got my cell phone, and I just tell them like, all right, for this month, here's what's coming in. This is what I want, and they write it down, and then they write my list down, and then they just keep it in their badge. For when as soon as it comes off the truck, they're like, oh, there's one of those things he actually wants. They go set it across the office and call me, and they're like, hey, we got this. We did the same thing for the Masterpiece Soundwave because I had already bought the Dakota, and I wanted the cassettes, though, and then Dakota, he wanted just the Soundwave. So they only got 2 in, and he wanted one, and then I was like, well, I need the other one because I need the cassettes. So as soon as it come off the truck, he's like, all right, bam, set it off site. I was like, yeah, I'll be up there tonight to buy it. And then some lady came up there. I'm here to buy a Masterpiece Soundwave. He was like, yeah, we don't have any more. We got 2. We sold them. She goes, I know that's bullshit. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. It was like they're both bought, and paid for, even though I haven't paid for mine yet. But it was like, that's. I've made that connection, and I always suggest everyone kind of do something like that if you can. Sometimes, it works out for you, and sometimes, they forget about it, whatever. But
yeah, just be cool.
I had that same experience with my Toys R Us, and I told Dakota this the other day when we were out in Texarkana that my Toys R Us knew that I would show up like right at opening on their truck days, and the day that Masterpiece Soundwave came out, they had 2 cases, and they had them sitting in the office. And as soon as they saw me, they're like, hey, are you looking for that Soundwave thing? I'm like, yeah, we got them here in the office for you right here. And I lucked out that they were on sale. Buy one, get one 50% off on all Transformers. So I scored 4 Soundwaves right then and there.
I remember whenever they had the Masterpiece Thundercrackers, buy 2, get 1 free. I got 1 for myself, and I ended up selling the other 2, so I basically got that figure free. But I also was able to help out a buddy in the UK that wasn't going to be able to get it, so it worked out. Or I might have took I forget what I did, but basically I got my Thundercracker free. So I usually try to take advantage of stuff like that. We've been going for an hour and a half. That's usually about how long we go with this show. Unless you guys have anything you want to add or discuss further. Nope. All right, so you guys that were in the chat, you're asking, are we gonna hang out afterwards? Sure. If you guys want to, I'll put the link in the chat. If you want to, you can join. It'll be off air, and I'll post it on my Facebook page as well. So there you go. But anyways, let's go ahead and get some outros here. Dakota, where can people find you, man?
You can find me everywhere at PrimalSabbath.
All right, Dalton.
You can find me everywhere at Dalton NCTFs. It's right there.
All right, Mike.
You can find me exclusively on Twitter under BlackConFan1978.
Rick.
You can find me on Twitter as Shatrdglassjazz.
All right, and Dan, and where can they find you? And I guess finish telling about the show. I'm gonna have all your information in the description as soon as we go, off air here.
Great, and thank you again for having us on. I think we both really enjoyed it. Our show is Near Mint Condition. Just on YouTube. We've got 10 episodes plus one extra one now. It's Near Mint Con on Facebook and Twitter, and then I am Despotes on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, Omar, what's up, man?
Yeah. You can find me with Dan along with two other hosts on Near Mint Condition, our YouTube channel. I am under the I don't have a Twitter. I don't have a Instagram. Or
why not?
I'm in hiding. Not really.
Okay.
Omar's not really my name. The real Omar died a couple years ago. Funny enough, he was a Transformer collector too.
That's how we
Imagine that shit.
All right, so I will put the link on the Facebook page, the G1 Hextron, so you can go over there, and then you can get in here if you want to. I believe you can have up to 10 spaces, I forget. But anyways, you can find me G1 Hextron, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook page, the G1 Hextron. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.